Hello again. Well, another little simple job today. I need to make a little easel for my airbrush practice. Having it clamped to the box there on a little bit of plywood was okay, but made things a little bit harder than they needed to be. So I'm going to make myself a little stand for my practice pieces. So what I'm looking for really, I suppose, is a frame that comes rather like this. Yeah, so just something simple like that really is what I'm after. So I reckon we want the capability to do A3 size stuff, so that's what, twice A4 like this, isn't it? So that's, call that 210, call that 420. Now our board can always go over the top, so if we make the whole thing 450 maybe, and needs to be sort of, that's A3 isn't it, so it needs to be maybe, call it 350 wide. How's that look? The first thing I did was to rip down a piece of softwood which used to be part of our old banisters before they were replaced. Well, because these sticks I've cut are just a shade over a metre, I've actually set my stop there at about 500mm, because I may as well make the most use of the wood, and I'll get 2 legs out of one of each of these lengths. Now I'll set it again at around about 350ish to cut another 4 pieces. So I now have all the pieces I need cut to length, but now I need to make a sort of reasonably decent joint on it, because although it's essentially a bit of a rough piece just for spraying paint at, I do want it to be quite strong. So what I've done is I've got 2 of my legs here which just need a notch at the end, and my 4 cross pieces that need a notch at both ends, and these 2 pieces are just scrap on the outer edges, scrap offcuts from when I cut the others to length. So I've nailed them into the jaws of the workmate bench here, and just using the workmate as a clamp to hold all these level. And I need these pieces on the outside, so when I cut the joints in, the edge of the wood here doesn't split out. These sections of timber are 20mm deep, so I've set the router bit 10mm out of the base of the router, and I'll set the depth stop to stop it when it reaches that depth. They're 28mm in the other dimension, 28mm wide. So to make my cut for the half joints, I've clamped this bit of wood on to act as a fence, 28mm back from the 45mm from the edge of the cutter bit to the edge of the router. So as we go along, that should cut a reasonably nice half joint. If you were doing sort of fancy joinery, you'd probably set it up a bit more carefully, but I'm not too worried about absolute precision here. So that was us cutting one side. I've just set it all up again exactly the same, only I've swapped the ends on the cross pieces, and I've got the other 2 legs in there because I only did 2 of the legs on the first cut. There you go, you can see what we did there just to get the cut for those joints. We're ready now to assemble the sides of it, so I'm going to lay it out on here. Got 2 uprights, a bit across the top, something like that, and then I marked on these 100mm up. I'm going to put the bottom bit across there. You'll notice I haven't recessed that in there, just so it gives it a little bit of a lip, like an easel I suppose, where I'm doing bits of steel. They can sit on there quite comfortably and just be sort of secured at the top or something. Right. Bit of glue on each of the joints. Something approaching square. Not a million miles off. I'm just going to put one screw in each joint. Again, if I was doing something a bit more precise, I'd mark out these holes and get them dead centre, but I don't think we need to worry for the purposes of this exercise. There we go, one side done. I'm going to go ahead and do exactly the same to the other side. I've got this sheet of 4mm MDF that I'm going to cut down just for the face of the easel. I marked it out just using the square with the size I want, and I think I'm just going to cut that with a handsaw. And now I'm going to screw that onto the face of one of those frames. A bit of lemsip here instead of tea, feeling a bit rough. To join it at the top, I've got this old piece of brass piano hinge, which I should just be able to cut down with a hacksaw. I'll just clean the end up with a file. I've clamped both halves of the easel in the workmate so the top is uppermost, and I can just drill and screw this piano hinge onto the top. Now of course we need something to hold the easel in the open position, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pair of spare bootlaces, or maybe at least one of them, to make a sort of stay for the easel. Well, there we go, the finished article, ready for me to do some more practice with the airbrush. And the best thing, of course, is that we spent absolutely no money making it, all made out of stuff we already had laying around. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.